The end of the 2022 Formula One season in Abu Dhabi marked the end of Mick Schumacher's days at Haas. German driver Nico Hulkenberg has been confirmed to take over Mick Schumacher's seat, leaving Schumacher without an F1 race seat in 2023. Why was Schumacher shown the door? Why replace him with a driver famous for many F1 starts but zero podium finishes? Today, we're going to look at the real reasons that Haas ditched Mick Schumacher for Nico Hulkenberg. To begin, let's look at Schumacher's career at Haas and how they ditched him. Mick Schumacher joined Haas in 2021 after an F2 championship win in the 2020 season. His signing was a topic of discussion, with many expecting an incredible performance from the rookie. Some even went to the extent of considering him the greatest of all time, just like Michael Schumacher, his father. However, he performed dismally in 2021, finishing the entire season without a point. The car was uncompetitive, and his teammate didn't score a point either, said F1 fans in Mick's defense. The 2022 season's regulation changes saw the production of a competitive car by Haas, and Mick's recurrent poor performances made the fans regret ever defending him. Kevin Magnussen made an F1 return with Haas after Nikita Mazepin was fired, and his performances revealed how weak Mick really was. In Bahrain, Mick finished 11th, while Magnussen finished 5th. What's worse than finishing behind a rookie in his first race? Well, the same rookie outscoring you for most of the season like Magnussen did to Schumacher. In the second half of the season, Schumacher was under pressure to retain his seat. In Abu Dhabi, it was confirmed that Schumacher had lost his seat to Nico Hulkenberg. Schumacher was not only replaced by Nico, but he also wasn't even considered a close second choice, as Haas was determined to look further if Nico didn't convince them. Schumacher didn't take the news very well, as expected. So, how can you describe Mick's F1 career so far? Next, Schumacher was inexperienced and developed too slowly, whereas Haas wants an experienced driver. In his second F1 season, Schumacher's performance wasn't consistently good. He struggled to put together complete weekends, and obviously Haas wasn't convinced that he was worth their patience. Schumacher was always trying to catch up, as he always struggled to extract speed from the car. His peaks have been good, but inconsistent, scoring points only twice and contributing 12 points compared to Magnussen's 25. At the Brazilian Grand Prix, Magnussen had the pole position, while Schumacher finished last in the same car. Despite getting his points for the season, it was evident that Schumacher wasn't taking advantage of the car. He had a poor rate of acceleration through race weekends, as his best performances were mostly in the final race stints. Given his inconsistency, he needed to display extremely high peaks in order to convince Haas that he deserved another season there. However, the peaks were not high enough for Haas to guarantee his stay. The team principal, Günther Steiner, however, said that he can't blame Schumacher since he doesn't have much F1 experience. Steiner termed Schumacher's replacement by Hulkenberg as developing potential versus unknown potential. And we all know who's who between the two. Mick could become a good driver. Or he's already a good driver, but he can get better. But how long does that take us? Because he's growing with us, he can't make us grow. Steiner told the F1 Beyond the Grid podcast. For Haas, Mick Schumacher was just too slow, too inexperienced. Do you think Haas demanded too much from Schumacher? I mean, how would he be experienced with just 2 seasons in Formula One? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section below. Following that, Schumacher has had many crashes that were very expensive for Haas to handle. Tell a Formula One fan about crashes and Mick Schumacher is definitely the first driver that's going to pop into their mind. Schumacher has had a lot of crashes in his F1 career. This season, he crashed in qualifying for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix at Monaco. As a result of these, Mick was put under immense pressure. He managed to get back on the track well, but at the Japan Grand Prix, he crashed again after the checkered flag. He was the only driver who aquaplaned off of the track in admittedly tough conditions, finishing any little chance that he had left at Haas. Haas suffered a massive blow to their budget and spare supplies due to Mick's crashes, to the point of deciding to just not rebuild the car to let him race in Saudi Arabia despite having enough components to do so. Was this their way of telling Schumacher that they were just fed up with his endless crashing? After the crashes cost damages that cost, honestly, millions for Haas, Mick was viewed as not being ready for an F1 career, thus not getting a contract renewal for 2023. If you were to give Mick a nickname that like Nikita got his a Mazepin nickname for his crashes, the spin. Anyways, what would it be? Moving on, why Nico Hulkenberg? Hulkenberg is a well-known Formula 1 point scorer, which points mean prizes, and that's exactly what Haas wants next season, making Hulkenberg the man fit for the job. With another driver scoring at Magnussen's level in 2022, Haas would have been 6th in the Constructors' Championship, where they finished 8th. With the 20th highest point scorer on their team, in what position do you think Haas is going to finish next year? I think we can move the team forward to be better in general. In every aspect, because of this experience. We want to use his experience to bring the team up, Steiner told Sky Sports. Nico has been involved with other teams in the midfield, and that's why we've decided we changed. I think you just gotta look at the options. What's the best for the team? How can we move quickest to get us into a better spot and be solid in the midfield if it's not going to the front of the midfield? Which, in a moment, that's the best that we can wish for, right? He added, in 2022, Hulkenberg stood in for Aston Martin's Sebastian Vettel, and he performed well. His presence at Haas is believed to be good for Magnussen. Will this duo work considering their 2017 Hungarian clash? When asked, Magnussen said, "I've said many times that I don't have a problem with Nico. I don't know him as a person, but certainly as a racing driver, I have always respected him. So, I'd have no problem with Nico at all." By replacing Schumacher with his fellow German driver, Haas will retain their German sponsor and also get a new sponsorship with Dekra, which sponsors Hulkenberg. How do you think Haas is going to perform next year with a more competitive car in the driver lineup? Let us know in the comment section below. Next up, did Mick Schumacher deserve another chance? With Schumacher at just 23 years old, we can argue that Haas has been impatient with him. It's a decent argument. 2022 was his second season in Formula 1, meaning that he's young. He's had plenty of time to improve at Haas. Schumacher had an uncompetitive car in 2021, which slowed down his learning process. This year, he has shown resilience in how he bounced back from the early season crash, and he's also had some really good weekends. At the Canadian Grand Prix, Schumacher displayed tremendous improvements. The way that he drove his car helped him extract more pace from it. It was amazing. Despite his poor performances, he's had very good results, such as P6 at the Austrian Grand Prix. Ayao Komatsu, Haas's trackside engineer, admitted that Schumacher made significant gains in the second half of the season. However, some problems beyond his control, like at the Japanese Grand Prix, frustrated Schumacher. All of these peaks from a driver with gains, but just not enough for Haas? Has he done enough to prove that he deserves a position on the grid? In response to this question, Schumacher said, "I've proven everything necessary to people that I can be quick, not only this year, but also in junior categories. Whatever I started in, I always get on top of it quite quickly, so I have a feeling that I can get on top of Formula 1 in the sense that I'm capable of winning the World Championship with the right time and the right car." Can he continue to improve if you are given more chances in Formula 1? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section below. Finally, is Mick Schumacher linked to a move to Mercedes? Since Stoffel Vandoorne and Nick De Vries left to drive for Aston Martin and AlphaTauri, respectively, Mercedes needs to reserve drivers to fill in for them. It was revealed in the Brazilian Grand Prix that Mercedes was interested in Schumacher if he had lost the Haas race seat. Mercedes can look after Mick. He deserves a place on the grid, and not as a test driver. Maybe there's an intermediate step in which we play a role, said team principal Toto Wolff. It isn't a secret that the fact is that the Schumacher family is a close name to Mercedes, and that we really appreciate Mick, Wolff added. Mercedes clearly values Schumacher, and he's serious about signing him. Mick had this to say about the move. "I've shown my pace, and I know that a lot of people in the paddock are happy about how I've developed, so I'm sure that I'll be able to talk to a great deal of teams. My dad did the switch from Ferrari to Mercedes. I don't see a reason why not." Mick's father drove for Mercedes between 2010 and 2012. And now that Schumacher has been let go of by Haas, what's next for him? Will Mercedes sign him, as rumored? F1 is a result-based business, and the results haven't been there for Schumacher. Should he get another chance, he'll have to make the most of it. Furthermore, being ditched for a 35-year-old who's been away from active competition for 3 years, that ain't pleasing. Well, guys, that marks the end of our video today. I hope you enjoyed it. Unlike Schumacher, who didn't make a return to his team after the season, make sure that you make a return to the channel by hitting the subscribe button for more amazing F1 content. Thanks for watching.